Any people in the room who chose and selected N? Any N's in the room? Intuitives, that's the second initial, N, great, N. Okay, N. Then you are either an NF or an NT. Okay? So take a look and say I'm an NF or an NT. Now if you're an S, that means the rest of you, they put the S with that last initial, SP or SJ. So you would be an SJ, right? ESTJ. There you go. What would you be?
SJ.
SJ, very good. You're an NF, aren't you?
Yes, I
Yeah, bless your heart, you didn't change.
I didn't.
People hardly ever take this and change. Now, that's not, if you're close on some scores, some people who are like 10 to 10 or 9 to 11, you can be flexible and adaptable. So, let's take a look at what Kiersey says is, because 16 is just too many things to remember. He likes to talk about temperaments. So when he talks about temperaments, he's talking about the NF idealist, 10% of the population. NT rational, about 12% of the population. SP artisan, 38% of the population. Do we have any artisans in the room? Oh, right, we have one artisan. Great. They don't go to class. Artisans are off doing stuff. They rarely go to class. How many guardians in the room? Wonderful. You are 40% of the population. You are the salt of the earth. But let's talk about you now, okay? We'll start with the NF idealist. That's going to be in the top left-hand corner. And it says, think about your close friends and family and jot their names down. So as I'm talking and telling a couple little stories, and you say, oh my God, that is Bill, just write his name down there, because that's going to help you really remember this information. So we have idealists, and the idealist is the person who values harmony. That blank is for you to write in the word harmony. They really are wonderful people. They tend to be in the service professions, counselors or teachers. They're loving, they're kind-hearted, authentic, and romantic and spiritual by nature. They excel at reading people. When I have an idealist in the restaurant business, I could send them out to the crankiest customer who didn't get their pot pie, and we dropped their food in front of them, and that idealist would just smooth the waters because they really had a knack for reading people. They can walk into a dining room and say, they're fine, better go find out with them. There's a little trouble over here. So they have a way of kind of reading people that's really uncanny, and that's one of their big strengths. They also like to inspire and motivate people. So if you have a problem employee, give them to the idealist, because that will be their project to help them and assist them and motivate them and teach them. They're just great. Now, here's the downside. Because they tend to overcommit to people and to causes, they end world hunger, Habitat for Humanity. They can completely get exhausted, not take care of themselves, forget to pay their own bills, and then lay on the couch and get a little depressed. Because they can't solve world hunger and everybody doesn't get a house. But that's okay, because when they get a good idea, whoop, they're back up again and they're marching towards ending the next big blight on society, because they're very idealistic. The name kind of summarizes it, doesn't it? Now, I'm going to give you some famous people so that you can get an idea. Probably the most famous idealist is Oprah Winfrey. How did Oprah make her money? Well, she had a TV show that's meant to inspire and uplift people. Did it for 25 years. And someone smart said, buy your own network. So that is Oprah. Also, Princess Diana was really working tirelessly for underprivileged, ending landmines. Gandhi, and then I found this on the Kiersey website, John Wooden. I don't know if you remember John Wooden. He was the UCLA basketball coach. Winningest coach in history, but anytime someone talked to him, he said it wasn't about the winning. I wanted to help develop good young men. He always cared more about their character, about them being good people and good students. Wonderful man, very idealistic. Okay, but they're only 10% of the population. You don't see quite a lot of them out there. All right. Let's take a look at the next one. N for intuitive, but T for thinkers. Is there any NTs in this room? Outstanding. Are you guys good in the workplace?
We're good friends.
You're good friends. You know what? Thank God, because there's only 12% of you, and you probably get each other, because women idealists, I have to tell you, Hillary Clinton is a female idealist. Smart, blunt, direct, unflappable.
And competent.
And very competent. Competent is your middle name. And you know what? You value competence, because what does it say? You value intellect and competence. You know what? Your motto is, people better use their brain. God gave it to you, how about you exercise it? The interesting thing about rationals, remember they're that future-focused thinker, so they're kind of 4 and 5 steps ahead. Strategic thinking, strategic planning is really one of the hallmarks of rationals. Notice they tend to be lawyers, scientists, and engineers. They almost are always seeking to acquire knowledge. They are excellent at problem solving, systems analysis. They are skeptical and strong-willed. And frankly, can be somewhat individualistic. People can perceive it as arrogant. They don't care. No skin off their nose what you think. Your feelings are your business. They are doing what they need to do. It's fine. So, work is work and play is work. I have to say, usually if you want, if you've got a project, a rational person will really work hard to get it done. They get bored easily though, and they don't know why it wasn't solved before, but they will work tirelessly to get it done, and they're excellent. If you know when people say the company's failing, we need to retool, they will bring in rational, because that rational will say, this is the business, this is how you've screwed up. Fire this person, this person, this person, and then let's get that up to speed. And then after they've done it and the company's back up to speed, they're bored. They want to go find a new problem or go into a different area of their company and fix that one. Because they want the challenge. They like the mental challenge. Now, they want people to use their logic. Now, who would be a good person to identify with this? Bill Gates. Bill Gates was working tirelessly for what? The personal computer that nobody quite got yet, but he had a vision. He wouldn't eat or sleep. He had to have people reminding him to take care of himself because he was so caught up in the idea of the personal computer. Hillary Clinton, excellent example of a rational. She is about, go ahead.
Steve Jobs.
Absolutely, Steve Jobs.
He's a rational with a heart.
Yes, he
Not
is.
so sure Gates is, but Jobs is.
Very interesting that those two changed the world.
Yeah.
Okay? Margaret Thatcher, great example of a rational. Now, I have to tell you, in the restaurant business where my idealists were very nice and sweet and had to learn that just because everyone got along didn't mean the job was getting done. Sometimes the rationals, especially the women, because people expect them to be nice, sometimes had to say, well, I get to work on customer service skills. My friend Linda's rational, and in a workshop one time, she looked at me like this, and then she went. I said, what are you doing? She says, I've been told to be nicer. I said, well, you're freaking me out, so just stop that right there. This is not normal. Now, she was a wonderful person, but she did have to kind of learn to hold her expression in a more pleasing face because she was kind of intimidating. But hey, who cares? I love Hillary. She's great and great example of a female rational. Okay, let's take a look at the next two. We have artisan and we have guardian. We have one artisan in the group. It's because the rest of them are out doing something fun. Because 38% of the population are artisans, SP. Remember P? Wait until the last minute. Okay, what do they value? The word there is freedom. They like their freedom. They don't want to be encumbered. They want to make decisions at the last minute. They're in sales, they're in entertainment, they're self-employed business owners, because frankly, they don't want to do it your way. They're a little different though. They'll like smile and nod at you like they're going to do it your way, but they're not. They're going to do it their way, but they want you to think that you're going to do it your way. They're fun-loving and impulsive. They tend to be very here and now in their orientation. They excel in a crisis. I like to say sometimes they created the crisis, but it doesn't matter. They're really good at solving it. They are not discouraged for long. I have to tell you, I don't have artisans in my office for depression. They're not depressed. They don't care what happened yesterday. They don't care about tomorrow. Today, we have to have fun today. And they love trying new things. The new vacation spot, the new restaurant, the new iPhone, iPad, iGear. Let's go get the new iPad 2. You have an iPad 1, I know, but this one has this one other thing that's different. Really? Yeah, let's go get it now. And they want people to have fun. Bottom line, if everybody would just lighten up, if everyone would just chill out, we could have a good time here. Right? Now, who are some famous artisans? Well, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton is an excellent example. Now, we got Hillary here, we have Bill here. We have Madonna. A lot of artists and musicians tend to be artisan types. Donald Trump. I know the look, but you know, Donald Trump, how his latest venture is going to make him $1 million, and it tends to. He doesn't. He's very interesting that way. And Magic Johnson. Now, interesting that they're finding that now with professional sports, there are artisans tend to be the personality type that you want in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes to go to take the three-point shot, right? Because you know what? They live for it. Kurt Schilling, I don't know if you remember years ago, he had his ankles were all bloodied, he was in enemy territory, and he was going to throw out the side. And he walked up and he strutted and he looked at these enemy who were booing him and he was like, bring it on. And he struck out the side. But you know what, if he hadn't struck out the side, he wouldn't care. Because they're like, hey, next time. So they tend to take very big risks. So they're used to big successes, and big failures are just the part of the price tag, right? That would be the artisan. They're a lot of fun. Oh, they're fun. Let's talk about the guardians, because that's why you're here. Guardians, SJ, 40% of the population. What do guardians value? The word is tradition. Guardians are wonderful people. They tend to be our supervisors. They're our managers, our nurses. There is no one like a guardian to be dependable, hardworking, cautious, helpful. They respect authority. And they were this way when they were 5. They know right from wrong. There's sort of an internal sense of right and wrong. My niece is a guardian. And at 5 years old, I asked her a question. She said, well, that's not right. I said, how do you know? She goes, me just note it. I said, okay. And so she's always put her little hands on her little hips and saying, that not right, that not right. Why you say that? Why you do that? That not right. And I'm like, when I was your age, I didn't know right. I mean, what are you even talking about? But that was her. So very often, guardians, bless their hearts, follow their shoulds, not their wants. You walked into the One Institute, right? Sometimes people say, what is the One Institute? I said, well, we could have called it the Should Institute and tell you what you should do. But we prefer, to, what do you have that you don't want? What do you want that you don't have? And they're like, well, we should do this. I said, I appreciate that, but what do you want? Well, I really should. I said, okay. One more time. What do you want? So they have a little difficult time with this. Now, guardians, more than any other type, love to join groups. They like to join groups, and they like to maintain the stability of the group. My sister-in-law, Kim, 30 years on the same bowling team. She's still like, if she breaks 100, she's doing great. I don't understand. Her game is not getting better, but it's the tradition. She wants to do it, and they're very good at goal completion. If you want something done, give it to a guardian. Might not be right, but it'll be done. And because they're so traditional, they tend to like the same restaurants, the same vacation spots, the same routines. We never go to Tahoe for Christmas. We always go to Mom's. We always go here for Thanksgiving. And if you suggest something differently, they can look at you like in a panic. Why would you even suggest such a thing? We always do it this way. So, and bottom line, what do they want? Follow the rules. If everyone would just follow the rules, life would be good. There's a handbook for that. We can help you just follow the rules and everything would be good. Now let's talk about some famous people. Well, Warren Buffett is a very classic guardian. I watched an interview and he said, when I was 10 years old, I was mowing lawns, I was delivering papers, I was earning money, and I saved it. And he said, when I was 19, I had enough money to invest, and so I wanted to find a company with a product that I understood, a tangible product. And he said, and if that company was in trouble, I'd study the company, I'd say, we can fix that. So I'd buy that company, I'd fix that problem, and I'd keep it. And then he said, and I'd look for another company to invest in, another tangible product. And he'd say, okay, buy that company, fix that problem, and keep it. So his path to wealth, if you will, was buy it, fix it, keep it. In my business, if we had a restaurant in trouble, this was the temperament we'd hire, because they would get there at 6 o'clock. They would work tirelessly. They'd write the schedules. I'm getting some amens over here. They would write the schedule. They'd make sure everybody was on time. They'd check the uniforms. Is the food checked in? Let's make the food. Let's collect the money. And they'd go to the bank, and then they'd do it again. And they worked very hard and very dedicated to maintain. An institution or a company that's in trouble is very upsetting to a guardian. So they'll usually work very hard to bring it back up to its stability. Okay? George Bush, first one, is guardian. Queen Elizabeth, guardian. Her sense of duty and obligation is right there. And then Mother Teresa, very strong guardian persona.